Well, howdy. I'm EJ, you're you, and welcome to my channel. So, everyone, we need to have a quick conversation because I had, up until recently, a very specific plan for my island. It was going to be kind of Ghibli cork, put a bunch of different ideas together. You have the theme for my other island. But recently, I just kind of hit a wall with it, and I wasn't feeling very inspired and was really struggling to make builds. So, jumped to the stream this last weekend, and I kind of had some Animal Crossing therapy with everyone in the stream. And we settled on a new theme for this island, which I will talk a little bit about in this video. But I just want to say thank you to everyone on stream that was there. You guys helped me through that crisis moment, and I am feeling so excited about what we are going to be building on Quadratini for the spring. So with all that said, let's get into the video. But before we do, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already so that you can see the Quadratini journey. And if you like the video, hit the like button. If you have something to say, hit the comment button. And yeah, okay, cool. Let's get into the video. So before I could get anything done, I had to move all of these shrubs because I put all of my shrubs conveniently directly in front of Nook's cranny. So, you know, had to move those first. But once those are all, I was gonna say dead and gone, but they're not dead, they're just gone. We are gonna get started. So the idea for this whole island at this point is kind of like a Wild West town, but also inspired by like Arizona and like the Grand Canyon, and also like kind of anachronistic in terms of like what is going to be there, because there's going to be like a road with like cars and stuff, but there's also going to be like, you know, horses and wagon wheels and that kind of stuff. So it's a marriage of like Wild West meets post-apocalyptic kind of Fallout, feeling Westworld kind of stuff. So that's the idea behind this. I'm calling it Wild West Core because if you make something on YouTube, you are contractually obligated by the Animal Crossing YouTube creator code to use a word and put core after it. So Wild West Core, y'all. But yeah, so first thing I'm doing is just laying down a bunch of dirt to make it turn into like kind of, you know, the desert, the American West desert. And then I unfortunately lost the footage of me putting down the road path and the railroad, but you'll get to see it as I like go back and touch it up. So, you know, also I will give myself a little pat on the back and say that I did indeed make these custom designs myself. So I was very proud of them. You know, I think I'll be touching them up throughout the build, but I really like this as a starting point. So I will have my own creator code for this path in the description below, as well as the other creator codes, because there are a few other patterns that I use that were not created by me. But yeah, as I was kind of saying before, I really was not feeling the idea that I had come up with for my original spring design, which was kind of like Ghibli. There was kind of 4 different themes in one, and I didn't really set on one, and Wild West was part of it. And really that was the one that really stuck with me. So when I was on stream, that was kind of the one that spoke to me about like really focusing in on. And now that I have, there are so many ideas that I have about it. So I'm definitely like, okay, let me follow the passion, you know? Okay. So as you saw before, I have all of my furniture laid out, lined up like little soldiers in a row, because it's just helpful to me to kind of see it all laid out. So that way I'm not like just looking at the leaves in my pocket, like, yes, what's this? And that way also like, don't forget what I have, because then I can see it. But I picked up a bunch of stuff, I'm laying it around, and yeah. Now, one thing about this build is that I'm actually planning on time traveling to the late fall eventually, because this really green grass just like pops out. So even though this is like my spring island, I'm really doing it. It's my spring island in name only, and also in the fact that I'm building it in the spring, because really, it's gonna take place. It's gonna the dream address is gonna be done probably in the fall, but I think I'm gonna like save that for like the very, very end, and up until then just try and have the green grass. But so really the big challenge for me right now is covering up the green grass with things like the hay bales and the termite mounds and things like that. And one thing I really love about like the first builds that you do on an island is like finding all of the custom design codes. Like I think that was actually a large part of this build for me, and that took up really a lot of the time, was both making the design codes when I couldn't find them, and then like finding like this like cobblestone pattern that I could use, and finding like a good dirt pattern and things like that. And I think it's like a great way, you know, I have so, especially with these hundreds, like the 100 spots or whatever, I have so many more options still, so much more space left to fill up with custom designs. But it's always exciting to get like the first few ones and really like start to feel out what's the feeling of this island and stuff like that. So yeah, that was just like a really fun thing with this area. Now, one way that this is really, well, there's many ways that this is different from Ponderosa, but one way specifically is just that it took me a while to figure out like what's going to be the fence for this island. I tend to like pick 1 or 2 fences and just use that all over the island. So barbed wire fence was a pretty natural choice for this. And I'm glad, because I feel like I haven't used that really a lot in many of my other builds and my other islands and things like that. So it's kind of like cool because it feels very new. I'm actually using a lot of items here that I feel like I haven't gotten to really showcase and use too much elsewhere, like this diner sign and the, you know, what else? Oh, the termite mound. That's it. Yeah. But like, obviously the rusted oil barrels are one of my favorite items. So yeah, it's kind of combining my 2 loves, rust and cowboys, I guess. I don't know if the cowboys are really a love of mine, but you know, they're going to be. The other difference, kind of obviously, between this and Ponderosa is just how barren this is. So whereas in Ponderosa, I was putting a design underneath every single item because I really wanted to make it look so lush and there's vegetation everywhere. And blah, blah, blah. In this one, I'm actually really trying to, not fill up areas, but, you know, make it a point to not fill up an area. Okay, so I'm not filling up an area, but I'm also putting down like custom designs around to like to add texture, but not necessarily fill up space, because I think the empty space is going to be really important in this island, which is really exciting to me because I think it's something that I just like, you know, kind of unintentionally worked with in previous builds, and it's really exciting to me to go from a cluttercore build to a cluttercore island rather, to a really barren island, but still kind of use the ideas that I was working with in Ponderosa and the things I learned from Ponderosa here. So it should be fun. Now, as I kind of have said with Ponderosa builds in the past, the first build on any new island is always kind of an experimentation, like trying to figure out what are we going to use in this. And this area right now, this like little, I don't know, rock formation, it's definitely something that I'm like working with. And I'm not totally satisfied with it yet, but I think there's definitely something here about like just having random like rock formations in the middle of the sand, because when I was looking at pictures of the American West and Arizona, and like, you know, I was seeing Bryce Canyon and all this stuff, and like there's just like all these random rock formations in the West, and it's like, where, for one thing, it's just like where'd they come from, but for another thing, just like I think that was such an iconic part, and I really wanted to put nods towards that in this build. And I really love this stone pattern because I think it's something that can be used as a path and also just like as, you know, an accent and things like that. And of course, my favorite item from Ponderosa, the wind turbines, have to make an appearance. So here they are. So here's the finished area. So I kind of did a lot of detail stuff off camera, but I'll try to point it out as we walk past it. The biggest thing you probably noticed was the flowers. I decided to put some flowers in there because I was looking up like specifically desert flowers, and I think the wind flowers specifically really look like a desert flower. I'm not sold on the cosmos yet, but I feel like because they're so scraggly and like jagged, they kind of work with it. With this bus stop, I also decided to put the camper thing that you get from connecting Pocket Camp to your account. So I put that next to the bus stop as like a little sign. I'm sure at night it looks really good. I actually haven't looked at this build during night, so that'll be something fun to do. Now, I really love this railroad intersection. It's really one of my favorite parts of this area. I just think it looks so cool. And I also decided to put, it's like a bamboo sphere that I customized to be the smoked bamboo. I think it kind of looks like a tumbleweed. I also use these grass standees that I customized to be the fall customization, and I think it looks just like dried grass. So I think that it adds like a nice vertical element so that everything's not just like custom patterns and things like that. All right, y'all. Well, that is the build, the very first build of our Wild West Core Quadratini land. I personally am so friggin' excited. I already have ideas for the next build. I'm probably going to start doing the build right after I finish recording this. So yeah, make sure you hit the subscribe button to see what is coming up next. And if you watched the end of this video, I know that this one wasn't particularly long, but let me know by answering down below, what is your favorite Disney movie? We were talking about this during stream and stuff about Disney in general. So what is your favorite Disney movie? So yeah, answer that down below, and I will see you guys in the next build. Bye.